Happy Thursday, Stampers and Paper Crafters. This is Facebook Live number 469. It is Thursday, March 5th, 2026. My name is Joy Borwedge, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Burnsville, Minnesota, and I have been a demonstrator since August of 1999. I am super excited, giddy, about the card that I have for you tonight. And I'm going to put you down at the table in just a second. If you get motion sickness or anything like that, look away, and I'll let you know when I am done fooling around with the camera. So hold on. So hopefully, as I said, today's Thursday, you have had a good week so far. All right, let's take this really slow. I tightened that a lot. All right, so let's travel down to my desktop. Oops, nope. Okay, maybe we can go now. There we go. It's nope, still tight. All right, so tightening it up, and let's put a little bit of light on the subject. And as you can see, I have a lot of ink pads next to me. Oh, okay, I think we're good. Are we good? Hands. You could squish in just a tad bit more, right? There we go. Hands. Okay, cool. All right. So again, my name is Joy Borwedge. I have an Instagram page. It's Stampin' for Joy. My YouTube page is Joy A. Borwedge. My online store is stampinforjoy.stampinup.net. It is open 24/7. PenguinZ33@outlook.com is my email, so that if you do not have a demonstrator that you're currently working with, you can request a catalog from me. And my Facebook page is Stampin' for Joy as well. So what happens is this is recording on my Joy Borwedge Facebook page, and I am live on Sundays after 5 o'clock and Thursdays after 5 o'clock. Then what I do is I take today's project and I put it on my Instagram page, and then I hashtag it with 469. Tina, hi, welcome. And then, so today is 469, so I'll do hashtag 469. So that way you can go to my YouTube page and see 469 so that you know that you can watch that to learn how to make the card that you saw. Now, Facebook, and then I also download it to my Stampin' for Joy Facebook page as well. And they only last 30 days. So that's why it gets downloaded to YouTube. So let's talk about stuff. How you doing? First of all, I forgot to show this. I got this from Vicky at the event that we had last weekend. And it is super cute. And look at that. It has all these chocolates in it. And what she did was she decorated each one. And so now I can actually eat one of these. And these things are phenomenal. I love, love, love these nuggets. And so the ladies at the table were thinking that there wouldn't be any nuggets left. Well, look it's been almost a week and they're still in there. So I just wanted to say thank you very much, Vicky. This is certainly cute, and I can't wait to eat them now. All right, then let's talk about some things that are coming up. Well, first of all, we have the annual catalog, and then we have the spring mini catalog, and then we have the online exclusives. Now, the online exclusives for March just came out. So I can now open this and kind of show you what's going on. So there is quite a bit in here. So here is the Garden Poetry Suite collection. So there is one suite. Then here is the Homemade Sweetness suite. So that's number 2. Then we have a wonderful match suite collection, and this is based upon soccer, or some people call it football. And so that is 3. And so then they break it down, so then you can certainly buy just the bundle. And the suites mean that this is the cutest crew bundle. And that means it doesn't come with any of the designer series paper. It doesn't come, oh, my camera does not like the fact that my hand is in there and then it gets dark. So let's keep my hand out of there. So there is you can buy just the bundle if you want to save the 10%. When you purchase the suite collection, you also save that 10%. So there is several just excuse me, bundles. And so there's a wide variety for everybody. I mean, the Barbecue Master Bundle. And, I mean, that is like the perfect grilling guy card products to get. The Delicate Whispers Bundle. If you get that, that is in... Let's see, the Delicate Whispers. Where did it go? That is this one, the Delicate Dreams Suite Collection. That actually has a new color in it called Hydrangea Hue. And that is going to be a new in color. So check these out. Now, these are going to be online and only online. That's why they're called online exclusives. Anybody can buy them. And the demonstrators can actually pre-buy them before they actually go live. So that is actually why several things are out of stock right now, because us demonstrators couldn't resist a lot of the things that were in this rollout. So a lot of the product is coming up within the next couple weeks. So then that way they'll be back and ready for the customers to get them. And some of us demonstrators who kind of like didn't get anything yet. So check that out. Now, some news, something that's going to happen coming up with the new catalog that is in May. That is going to be not the annual catalog. They're going to do away with the annual catalog, and they're going to do away with the mini catalogs. So we get a mini catalog introduced in January, and then we get a mini catalog introduced in September. So now what they're going to do is combine the two. So you as a customer will only have one place for the catalog to look at. So we're going to get new catalogs introduced trimesterly. I just made that word up. So every 4 months, we're going to get a new catalog. And so that's going to be, obviously January, February, March, April. So that's going to be one catalog. So no mini. However, each catalog that is going to be coming will have all of the, the products, the core products. So like all the in colors, all the other families, all the dies in one spot, the punches in one spot, except for obviously the online exclusive items. Okay, so Kim, hi, welcome. So we will have 2 different places to look. One's going to be printed, just one, and then the other one is going to be in the online exclusives. So I just thought I'd let you know. And then we have the Notes of Spring. Now, the Notes of Spring is the product of the month. And what that means is that for $5, you can get this, what they call it, a 2-step stamp, okay, for only $5 when you have an order that is $75 or more. Now, you can only get one product of the month. So this one just came out in March. Now, if December, January, and February product of the month is still available, you can still get them if you have not yet ordered them. So the Designer Series paper from December is still available as far as I know. So you would have to, if you decided to get this is for $75 order. Okay, you only get to purchase this for $5. So you can still purchase. Yes, there is going to be a new product of the month for April. So each month is going to get its own product of the month, and they are while supplies last. So far, everything that we've had so far has made it the full month and into the following months. Now, I think the stamp set that came out in January, I think that one is gone, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I was watching a video, and I think I heard that, but then I didn't go back and watch it because I was doing something else at the same time. But each month is going to have its own product of the month. That is taking away Celebration. Celebration, you were able to get things for free for only 2 months. And so now Stampin' Up! Is making it so that you can get something for only $5 with a qualifying order. And so that subtotal needs to be $75. So if you had, say, an $80 subtotal, okay, and then you had Stampin' Rewards for $10. So that took that off. So your order came up to $70. You still have to put more in there to get that stamp set for $5. Okay, and like I said, it's only while supplies last. Oh, the new catalog? Oh, I'm sorry. It's the new catalog is going to be available in May, and that I'm really excited for. Now, these catalogs that we currently have are ending when the new catalog starts. Okay, so this one says through the end of April. Now, the next one starts in the beginning of May. So obviously this is going to go through, but also just want to point out that, again, that the color, the end color, Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie, Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, and Petunia Pop. These are all retiring. And once they get put on the last chance list, they're going to go so fast because everybody is like super sad that these are retiring. And and then just to give you something fun to look forward to, Stampin' Up! Is going to introduce a new style of ink pad. This style of ink pad that is in the Memento is going to be introduced, I should say reintroduced, to the Stampin' family. So what's going to happen is we're going to have the new colors in the new casing. And that is close to my heart style, and they are magnetic. So what I believe is going to happen is the top, so pretend this is the top, and this is the ink pad. So we're going to go away from foam, and we're going to, with the new ink pads, and that's only going to be in the ink colors. Then when 2027 rolls around, that's when the whole family is going to be in the felt or linen. I can't remember which one it's going to be. It's going to be the opposite one of the one we had before. So it's going to not. So what they're finding is that several colors of the re-inker is not meshing with the foam, and it's changing the chemical reaction. And so they're going to go back to having it be a linen or felt, and then that way we're not going to have our colors change on us. And so I find that's going to be awesome. So what they're going to do is this is going to be, I think from what I remember seeing in the video is that the ink pad is going to be in the top of the lid. And so it's going to be, so kind of like this is going to be the top. And then what you do is you put it on the bottom and it sits there magnetically. So it's easy for anybody who has arthritis or who have some type of disability to just literally pull it off. So that's going to be exciting. And the chemical reactions that we're finding out, say in like the cloud cover, that's the reason why we couldn't have cloud covers, because of the, let's see, I'm going to plug in my phone and we're going to move just a little bit so that I can put this in so that all of a sudden we don't lose you. And I'm going to move this over. All right. And then we're going to get rid of that the cord, hopefully. Okay, cool. Now we're good, because I didn't want to have that fall down. Okay, so today's card is like super, super cute. And we're going to be using the Cute as a Bug. It's in the spring mini catalog. And I mean, oh my goodness, you guys, the things that you can do with this suite of product is wonderful. The dies cut out a lot of the designer series paper. Like this particular sheet right here, lots of dies will cut out images. Now, also, you can fussy cut a lot of the images as well that don't have dies and still have a great looking card. Now, in the Suite collection, you have the stamp set and the dies, and then you have the, they're called Ladybug Garden Epoxy Shapes. And so you get a ladybug, and then there's two kind of like dewdrops. Then we're going to play with this ribbon. Now, this ribbon for me, I don't like this ribbon to make bows. However, we're going to use it in today's card, and I love it the way I'm going to use it, which is really easy. We're just wrapping it around. And the designer series paper. This, I just have to say that the artists did so so well when they put this suite together. There's a page in here that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 vignettes that you can cut out and not have to do any type of stamping except for your greeting, or if you want to add some other bugs from the designer series paper. Let me show you what it looks like. So we have, it's called Cute as a Bug Designer Series paper, and it has quite a few cardstock colors that coordinate: Basic Black, Blackberry Bliss, Cajun Craze, Cloud Cover, Crushed Curry, Daffodil Delight, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Pecan Pie, Poppy Parade, and Pumpkin Pie, and then I forgot Very Vanilla. But technically, Very Vanilla is the sheet that it's backed on, so I guess I didn't really get it. Also, in the background, there is white in several of the colors, so you can still use basic white cardstock as well. And then here are the dies, and here are the stamps. And now let me show you, just in case you have not seen this before. I have taken the envelope and I have put that on the inside. Then I store it with the designs facing that flap. You can still see through it. And then I put my images on magnets. Now, I get a lot of these magnets from work, so they're different shapes, so I cut them to shape. And then I have, you can see this green outline. Now, these are gel pens, not that one. These are gel pens, and there's a white one that we're going to actually be using today, and it's called Papermate Ink Joy gel pens. And what caught my eye was that on the outside of the packaging, it said that it worked well on dark colors. And I was looking for something that I can help my magnetic sheet display where I can put my products once I'm done. Now, you can tell that there's not a lot of space on here. So if I was die cutting a whole bunch of shapes out of the designer series paper or whatever, it would be hard for me to get these guys all back and to know where to go. Also, it helps me know if I'm missing something. So that is how I do my dies. I label it with the name of the suite. Thank you, Kim. I'm glad you like that. And I put the page number on it. Now, if it was, say, the Cutest Crew. The Cutest Crew is a March 2026 online exclusive. And I've done the same thing. And that way, and I just did them in yellow. And so then I'll show you what I do with my stamps. Now, when I design, I have just the table that this table is, I don't even know how long it is. It's actually a piece of particle board that I used at the house, and I brought it with me. My table is probably about it's about 3 feet wide. And so this probably actually goes maybe 5 feet. And so I put that particle board on top, and then I put a decorative sticky thing on top. But anyways, that is how I did that. And so what I do is I was seeing people where they would stamp this and then take one of these and tape it to one side and take the other side. And that has to mean that if you were stamping, okay, that this is on your desk somewhere, okay? And I didn't like that. I kind of like the idea, yes, that I can put my stamps here and then know if they are in the wrong spot, blah, blah, blah. However, the way I do it now is I do the same thing. I put the lid, the flap on the inside, okay? And this time I have the icons facing me. So I still could have it like this, but I have it in a container so that I can flip through, because sometimes there are dies that I want to use with another suite. And so I want to be able to see them. So like if this had some cute label dies and it's stuck together, I might forget that those are in there. So now what I've done is I've taken, you might be able to see this better, is this here is the thick part of the plastic. And I have taken a Sharpie pen, and just went all around the designs. And so then that way I can lay that on the table and know that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. And then what I do is when I'm designing, I will take this piece off and I will stick it right in the front here so I don't accidentally throw it away. And then all I have on my table is just that. And then just that. And so I'm not able to, or I'm able to have other things on my desk at the same time and then not get this ripped or spilled on or dropped on the floor. And so when I'm done, I just pull that out because I know where it's at. And then I just open this up. Now these photopolymer stamps are made with bright lights. And so if you leave it out, and it might get daylight on it, it might sit on your desk table and the light of your tables. I don't know the intensity. That's how these were made. And so I want to keep mine protected from the elements by putting it in between that. And so all I need to do is just pull that out, and there it comes. And so I am easily able to grab. I now know what's left to put back in, and I can leave this on my table while I'm designing, and it won't take up that much space. All right, so that's a little tip for you, because I never know who's new and who may not have, seen those things before. All right, I think we're ready to go, right? So, today's card is actually going to be a fun fold, and I have all the measurements written down, and let's go through them. This piece is Mossy Meadow, and it is 11 inches by 4 1/4, and we're going to score it at 5 1/2, 6 3/4, and 8 3/8. Nope, 7/8. That's a 7. Let's make it a little bit more like a 7. So then that way, if you come back and want to remake this card, then you have the correct measurements. We need 2 of these basic white pieces, and they are 2 3/4 by 4. Then we need 3 pieces of the Designer Series paper, and they are 1 inch by 4. So this is a perfect way to use up those scraps of Designer Series paper. Now, we're using the same color, and this is Mossy Meadow. It is 3 by 4 1/4. Let's put that there. And then this is the Designer Series paper, and it's 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to leave that sit there just for a moment, because this way it allows you to come back, pause it, and watch. Let's see, let's put that a little bit more in the camera so that it could stop. All right, so then I just want to walk you through it. Now, I have done a lot of things with the bug, Sweet as a Bug. So here's one of the cards that I did for the event that we just had, our in-person event. And this is using vellum and the Designer Series paper and Versamark down at the bottom. So there's just a, lightly colored ants crawling across the table. Let's see here. Anybody else that I can show that I haven't sent out? Here's another one that somebody's going to get a Facebook Live winner. This is, thank you. This is using the Designer Series paper. Now, this ribbon here I used, it's from the suite, and I pulled a string, so it made the loopy loops, and you could see that there are the dewdrops on there, and then that is the inside of the card. And I did a lot of die cutting of the Designer Series paper, so then that way they got a chance. This was an in-person stamp camp at my apartment, so they got to make this card, and that is the only ones I have done right now, and an easy place to find of the bug ones. Okay, because I've sent the other ones out, I think. All right, let me take a drink. And then we'll get to doing. All right. Now, I haven't, my nails. I don't have fingernails. That is why I love my Take Your Pick tool. All right. So, hey, Bert, come to steal my chair. we're going to leave that there because we're going to score that. We're going to put these over to the side here because we're not going to use them right away. And we're going to use our Simply Scored tool because I love my Simply Scored. I like to use the one on the trimmer, but I love this one because my scores are basically deeper because the crevice goes down further and with the more pressure I put. Okay, so the first score is at 5.5. And then the second one is 6 3/4. Yeah, Bert wants to help. You're right. Actually, he says, Mom, what are you doing? You need to pet me. All right, so we're going to do 7/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's that little tiny notch before 9. All right, just in case you don't know your eighths. All right, so that is done. And then we're going to do the bone folder. Now, what I could do is go back in and score those the opposite way. And then that way, it will help with the, breaking of the fibers. So this is going to be the front of our card. And it's kind of a book binding card with an extended flap. Okay, so we're going to take this one here and we're going to fold it in half. And we're going to get out our bone folder. And I'm going to make sure my edges are perfectly lined up so that I can just crease that and get that a good burnish. Okay, and then we're going to fold this one back because like I said, we're going to do a book binding. And then the next one is we're going to fold that way as well. Okay? And so it's going to, might as well do this right now. We're going to get our tear and tape and we're going to do the book binding part first, and then that way we can get that off. And I like the tear and tape because when you do kind of like things that are going to be flippy flappy, when you're doing 3D products, I love tear and tape because that way it is a great seal. And so we're just going to take the Take Your Pick tool. I call this part right here the people poker because I am the people it pokes. And we're going to burnish that, okay? And then we're going to take this piece right here and we're going to add this to that. And so you can see that there's going to be an equidistant spacing on both sides, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to put, I'm going to use Stamp and Seal. And we're going to just put this on my silicone mat because I have a habit of overcharging with my adhesive. Oops. And I can see we're getting close to the red center there. That means that we might have to refill. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take the edges right here and make them flush so it looks like it's actually longer than it really is. And I'm actually going to use the bone folder to burnish that together. Okay, so there we go so far, okay? And this is actually an easy fun fold. But you don't have to worry about, strange numbers. We're going to take the designer series paper, and these are 1 by 4, and we're going to put these in 3 different spots. No, you do not want to sit on me. Yes, I do. Okay. There we go. Now, it doesn't matter which way is up. If you went with the bugs, yes, you would have to sit there and figure out directionality. So we don't need to do that with this one because we're good. All right, so I think I put it in the right spot. So we can push down, and then this one, oops, a little too, I think that is pretty good. Whoops, I just moved it. All right, I think that's pretty good. Wow, gosh darn it. Luckily, I'm not pushing down. All right, let's go. And a little bit further down. And equal distancing. Nice borders all the way around. Push before I move it again. All right, so that is what it's looking like so far. And then we're going to fill that piece in right there. Just right up to the seam, or the fold, I should say, of the book fold. Because when this is open, okay, it's going to look like that. So you're not going to see this piece back here. So that's why it's only, that small. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this basic white piece, and we're going to put that right in here. Oh, I see. Oh, Judy, welcome. I saw that. Thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. Stacy, welcome. Woohoo! We're getting a party started. Okay. And so this is where we're at so far. Now we're going to take the designer series paper and we're going to layer it on the basic white. Because there's white in here and there's white in the pink, I wanted to kind of spotlight Lynn. My sister's watching. Hi, sweet lady. How you doing? So that is what it's looking like so far. I miss you, honey. She's not my baby sister. She's my middle sister. Yeah. She is the one that is an actual artist. She gets paid to do artwork. So I make cards. Because this lady can't draw nothing. I'm going to take a drink. All right. So, what are we going to do now? Seeing as how we're kind of at a standstill with this, we're going to stamp the inside of the card, and we're going to use Poppy Parade and Cajun Craze. Now, we're also going to use, as you could tell, sponge daubers, but not yet. How you doing, Judy? Middles rock. Oh, that's funny. Let's see here. We're going to stamp the images in here. And let's see, our greeting is, you know what I did is I put all my stamp stuff over there, and I always have it over there. So I was feeling a little discombobulated. So now I feel much better. I put it back in the right spot. All right, so it says, hello, friend. And make sure we're going to do this over to the left and just allow that to transfer. And we're going to close that little puppy up right now because an open ink pad is an invitation to having an issue later. You could drop something in it. All right, so the inside of the card is going to say, hello, friend, love you lots. And so we're going to go tap, tap, tap. I cannot wait until all the ink pads get to non-foam. Alrighty. And now that's a little crooked. Dang nabbit. We're flipping over. And we're going to do hello, friend, again. Guess I shouldn't have closed it up. All right, let's try that again. I'm trying to look through a camera, technically to the side of the camera, and so there's something in my way. All right, now let's try to do this straight. Push down. There we go. Beautiful. Then, see, we're taking the colors. Not done yet. We're taking the colors. I mean, this is kind of boring. Wait until we liven it up. Okay, so we're going to take our Memento black ink and we're going to do some shrooms. Now, I mentioned at the event that I love you too, my sweet little sister. I think technically she's probably still taller than I am, but she's my little sister. And then my other little sister, she is in Louisiana. Lynn is from Chicago. All right. Now we're going to put a little bit of grass on this side. Hey, Lynn, by the way, text me your address. I was going to go send you a birthday card, and then I realized that you moved, and I don't have your address. So now I'm not going to send you a birthday card, but you'll just have to find out what you're going to get. All right. And then one more shroom. Anyways, I was saying at the stamping event that we had that I haven't played with the dies yet. Non-bug. So there are mushroom dies and there are flower dies in this sweet collection, and I have not yet played with them. So you guys are going to be extremely thrilled after I get done creating the card. All right. Who? The lady above you, Lynn, she's my sister. So, if that's what you're asking, Kim. Linny Pooh. And I think she's about a ½ inch taller than I am. All right. Okay, so that we are done with, and we're going to color. We're going to use our Stampin' Blends, and I'm taking everything out of here. I swatched our colors because I wanted to see, excuse me, I wanted to see what the nib tip looked like. So the light is on the left, light LL, okay, and then the dark is on the right, okay. So each left is the light, and then each right is the dark, and then the top is the nib part, and the bottom is the brush part. Now this one right here is losing its tip, so it was more of a blotch. So obviously that one we're just using the nib tips. So here we go, and I am going to color, let's see, petal pink, let's see, petal pink, and then Poppy Parade, Cajun, and then Crumb Cake, and then I have Mossy Meadow. And Mossy Meadow is darker than the Old Olive. That is the color of the cardstock. And so what I did is I took my brush and I just laid it down and I went like this. And that was, that's my grass, kind of, my grass. And you know how like when kids do the sun in the corner? Yeah, you know, the sun is not in the corner. All right, and then, so I'm going to sit down and color because, number one, these are small, and I don't want to mess up. And so, because I want somebody to win this card. And guess what, Bert? You are now being kicked out of my chair. Yeah, Bert's like, I just warmed it up for you. Mom, what are you doing? Okay, so we are going to do dark. Wait, is this dark? Oh, it's light. I had it on the wrong side. We're going to do dark petal pink. And we're going to color the flower. Now, we actually did this at the event. Okay, and make sure your lid snaps on. And then we're going to take the dark, oops, you guys, nib tip at the top, brush at the bottom. I didn't put that in there like that. Okay, now it makes me happy. My little AR is going on. Okay. And then we take the dark Cajun Craze, and we're just going to make a little circle. And this will expand just a little bit, and then that will give the center of the flower a little life. Okay. And then now we're going to use Crumb Cake. Now I'm going to use both the nib tips, okay, and I might use the brush, actually, just a little bit because it's not as tiny. So let's go and use the dark nib tip for the kind of the art lines that the artist had put in the stamp. Okay, and that's the dark nib. And then we're going to use the light brush, and we're just going to blend that in. Now my tip is getting kind of icky, so that's the reason why I like to use my nibs, because those don't mess up when you use them too much. And then we're going to use the nib tip to color in the rest of our shrooms, stems. Okay. And then we're going to take, let's see here. We're going to do, this is the nib tip. This is the dark Poppy Parade. And we're going to just kind of create almost like an L shape. And then we're going to take the light nib tip and just kind of shade that in. Okay. And then we're going to go in and use the dark Cajun Craze, and we're going to do the same thing. All right, and then we're going to take the light Cajun Craze and just color that in. Shade that. And so the winner of this card is going to see the shading. There's, like I said, there's really not a lot of space to see that, but that's okay. And then we're going to use this white gel pen. And I need to get this going. And we're going to put some spots on here. I'm just doing 3 spots because, number one, there's really not a lot of space to play with. Okay, so we're done coloring the inside of that. And you can see that's going to be on the inside of the card. And I always swatch because you can see that this here is the brush and this one out of the crumb cake is the darkest. Whereas the nib tip off the Poppy Parade is the darkest. Now, this one here is the brush off the dark, but obviously that's not anything I'm going to want to use. So the nib tip is going to be off the light one, or sorry, the brush off the light one is actually the darkest. And you really probably can't tell too much difference between the petal pink, but to me, the light actually looks a little bit darker than the dark. So that's why I always swatch my colors. So then that way I get to see what's best on my paper. And you never know with if you use these a lot, you might be, getting down there in the actual liquid. So you may notice that you use your darks more than your lights. And so your colors might be totally different. Okay, so I can throw that away because I'm done with it. And let's see here. Now, while I'm just going to take a little tiny break, we're going to clean off our stamps because we used photopolymer and kind of different colors. And so I think, did I clean these already? I think I did. Now I'm putting them over here because when if I cleaned these the first time, I think I did. I left them over by this, which means to me, clean them. Now I did it. I put them up front. So now it's good. Okay, so this one is going to go on the inside because it looks good. Actually, I want to take a little bit of the brush, and I'm going to kind of put some darker color in with, because I want to make sure that my mushrooms have some groundedness to them. So now that I introduced both the dark and the light, now that makes me happy. Okay, so we're going to put adhesive on the back side. And this is going to go on the inside of the card. I think all right. We're actually not done with the inside yet, but we're done for now. So that's how it's going to look. Now we're going to move this out of the way, and we're going to grab the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because we are going to do some die cutting. Now, I have it so that it's easy and it's not going to take way too much time. And what I did is, let's go the other way because I'm right-handed. My plates are very well loved. This one's cracking. This one's at the top. This is my top plate, so it's kind of starting to crack. I've never had a top plate crack, but I have had my bottom of my mini. So I taped these little buggers down. And so this one is going to lay down. I have them taped together so they don't slide off. So I tried to fit as much as I can. These are all scrap pieces. So this is Old Olive, Basic White, Cajun Craze, Poppy Parade, and Early Espresso. And so we're just going to drive that through. Okay. And there we go. So I'm just going to take this. Come on. Throw that away. And the leaf and stem came out really nice. And okay, where'd the other? Oh, the other one is like stuck. Ah, and I missed one. I have to put my flower through. Gosh darn it. And this tape I can reuse. Now I'm putting my pieces back on the magnetic sheet so I don't lose them. This one has the tape attached, and I'm going to drop it. That's a mushroom cap. That's not a leaf. You know what, though? If you want to make it a leaf, you certainly can. That goes on the magnetic sheet. And my people poker is going to poke out the stem that was attached to the base. And here is the Poppy Parade mushroom cap. And I can use this tape. Oops. Well, gosh darn it, no. It just ripped right off, so never mind. Put that guy back over there. I always have a magnetic sheet sitting next to me so that once I'm done die cutting, I can put my magnets where they need to be until I'm ready to put them back. And that one, we're just gonna, nope, toss. No, that didn't work. I think this one here is supposed to be a blackberry. I do not need that one. And let's use the people poker to poke out my flower center. And this one I do not need, but I could certainly put it in a spot that I can keep to use at another time. All right, and then here's our mushrooms and our flower. There we go. That piece I can reuse again. Just drop that. That comes right out. I love it when it does that. This one. Nope. Sometimes on the glass mat it works. There we go. So our cute little mushroom. Okie dokie. So there goes the mushroom. And there goes our flower. Now the flower, depends on what you want to do with the center, can either go this way or it could go this way. So I love the fact that it's made for multiple uses. All right, so let's put that through so that we could carry it without having to drop it. Yeah, I have a die cutting station. And, okay, so we're going to take all these pieces and we're going to bring back the Stampin' Pearson mat, and we're going to color. This is the only one that we're really not going to do anything with. So our mushrooms and our flower. The flower we're not going to actually do anything with either. So we could put these on. We're going to use the silicone mat to attach things with, but we might as well colorize, give things depth. Okay, so first thing, we're going to grab the old olive. We're doing tone on tone. And so we're just using finger daubers. And I did just pounce a little bit. Okay. So the stem is very delicate. So I don't know if you could see the difference of the shading in there. So I just used a finger dauber, and so I'm going to put that. It might look different. You might be able to see it better because it's sitting on a darker piece. So you could see the shading. And then we're going to do the same thing to this one. And you can do it at different spots so it doesn't look like it's the same. Okay, and that'll be done. Okay, so we're done with the finger dauber. Now, if I use the finger dauber for a lot of things, like green, I might label it Old Olive. But I can rinse them out until they run clear and then reuse them. All right, let's see here. This is Poppy Parade, and we're just going to do a little bit of around the edges, and more so in that little corner there, and just getting a little bit of edging, okay? There we go. That one's done. So we're going to move that one over there. Move it on over. And then close that up. And then Cajun Craze. And then just kind of there's really not a lot of color coming off that. Let me see if I need to add some re-inker, just because at the event, 50 people. Now, people have asked, how do I re-ink things? And so what I've done is I'll just take it and go like this, and if it disappears really quick, it's a thirsty ink pad. So there we go. We'll just add a little bit. Okay. There we go. I was going to put that back on. No, this is the lid. Okay, and that is Cajun Craze. So now I might have a little bit more of an ink. There we go. Let's see, where did that go? I'm using a pair of reversed tweezers so that it can hold it, because there's really not a lot of space. And lay it down too. Kind of pounce on it. You can also use the blending brushes too. That would be very nice. Okay, I think. Oops. Now these, the reversible tweezers, they actually come in the embossing additions kit for heat embossing. So there we go. And then the next thing we're going to use is we're going to color our mushroom. And we're going to use crumb cake. And just a little bit off the side. And I'm just kind of putting a lot of color right there where the die indentations are. And then it's kind of a light sponging on the stem, because I want a little bit of the white just to kind of pop through. Okay, and so we are done. Well, I want a little bit more. Come on. There we go. Much better. Get a little bit of the shadow there. Okay. So then we're, you could stick these on your fingers and just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Lots of fun. Oh, I forgot my flower again. All right. This little tiny die. All right. Luckily, I, attached it. All right. I shall be right back. There you go. Now, when you have something like this, take it off your paper, because you might accidentally throw it away and lose your die. I have not done that, but I have done that, but I didn't throw it away because I was searching for it and found it in this is my little trash can. Paper, oops, wrong side. Tape. And other non-recyclables. Okay. Man, I forgot to do something. Gosh darn it. Let's see if I can fix it. And let's see. We're going to put the lid back on. And we're going to take this. Nope, never mind. it is here. Take this one off. It's a very fancy card. It's very fun. It's like I said at the event. I don't know who I was talking to, but I never played with the dies, and so I needed to make a card. Well, here we go. And I was also saying that I find that doing simple is very hard for me. All right, so this is what I wanted to do. Is let's just put that there for a second. And here is the ribbon. And we're just going to snip. Here we go. And we're going to flip this over and add adhesive. More now because I ripped it open. And we're going to put down our ribbon. This is what I forgot to do. And there we go. Perfect. There we go. Now it looks like I never forgot. That's how you fix that. You get out the platypus side off the paper poker, and now turn, twist, and put that back in, and we are ready to poke. Okay, then let's put together our mushrooms. And this is what you do when you don't have fingernails. You use your take your pick tool and you flip them around and you put adhesive on here. Now you could certainly use glue if you wanted to. Now how sweet is that? I mean, cute, huh? Then we're going to do a Cajun Craze mushroom. Okay, so those are ready. And then this here. Come on. Now let's just go that way. There we go. I can use a mini glue dot too. I didn't think of that until just now. And now I dropped it on the floor. Hopefully, yes. Sticky sides up. Okay. Then that's going to go just like that. And then this is going to be our cone flower. I had cone flowers when I had a garden, and I had some that were kind of like a purplish color. I had, fine, be like that. I'll go this way. Mini glue dot. Kind of like an orangish purple. It didn't last very long. It only lasted 1 year. Didn't come back. And then I had yellow Rubicias or black-eyed Susans. There we go. That's how we make the little puppy stay. Ha! And that is, is there glue on there? No, we're just gonna use this. I'm gonna put that right there. Now, if you were to do this flower this way, this green piece where I stuck my mini glue dot would actually hang out at the bottom. But because this is my white Rudbeckia, that is how we're doing that. Okay, now we're going to flip everybody over. And we're going to do dimensionals. Come on. Flip over, you little butthead. Has anybody else talked to their flowers and their stamps? All right. So we're going to take a mini glue dot, or sorry, a mini dimensional, and that's going to go right there. And then a big one right here. And then we're going to grab my adhesive scissors. And that is going to go right here. I'm going to split that one in half. Now, seeing as how this is an adhesive, or a silicone mat, the adhesive does not stick to it. So that is why I like to use this particular kind. All right, then a large glue dot, or a large dimensional, and where's a hard? And there we go. Stab and pick up those backings and try not to lay them on your other designs as you do this. Okay, I got one backing. There we go. Let's get off. There we go. Okay, so let's attach to our front of our card. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put down the flower. And we're going to stick... Now, what is that? Oh, a piece of white fuzz. Okay. So we're going to stick this right down into the ribbon. And so, just like that. And then we're going to stick this shroom right. Should I put it under? Yeah, we'll put that over the flower petals, just a couple. And lay that down. And then this guy crosses over. And then this little guy comes on right down in there. Okay. Now, let's see. I think we're done gluing. So we can get rid of the silicone craft sheet. Now we're going to grab the Wink of Stella. And we're going to grab the Stampin' Pearson mat. Oops. This is trying to come off. No, you don't get to come off. All right, so we're going to do that center. We're going to do the little movement right there. We're going to do the center of this flower plus the etchings. I would say, oops, I forgot the etchings in the daisy. Not the daisy. Let's wait. Okay. Then we'll do the leaves, the etchings in there. Clean that off because that's ink. And then we'll do underneath the mushrooms, kind of where they're etched in. Clean that off. Then we're going to come in here, and then we're going to get the center of the flower, clean that off, and then we're going to do the little mushroom And then we'll do the big mushroom, just the top. And then we'll go and do that mushroom. Okay, so those are all Wink Castellized. And then we got to do the greeting for the front. And we're going to do that one in black because we have had, I want that to be a little bit less, I want it to be more straight. There we go. And this is going to say spread joy because sending cards to people, that spreads joy. And I should have, I guess it's going to be straight. I hope it's going to look good. All right, so we're going to do that in black. Spread joy. We'll clean that in a little bit. Thank you, Judy. We need to do where did I put the weight gel pen? All right. So we're going to do dots. Now, when you do these dots, you kind of want to do it in triangular form. Okay. I'm just doing big dots and little dots. Big circle, a little circle, a little circle, a big circle. I mean, like, how sweet is that? I told you you wanted to be here. All right. We're not done yet. You're like, Joy, now what are you doing? We got ladybugs. And where did I put them? Right here. The event that we had, the in-person event, and oh, thank you for the heart. I saw that. Thank you, thank you. The event that we just had, the in-person, I provided 1 ladybug and 2 of the dewdrops, and they don't equalize so I had to buy like 5 packs of these, and so I have a bunch of ladybugs left. So somebody is going to get a bunch of ladybugs. Well, it has 3 ladybugs. No dewdrops on this one. Come on, you little bugger, let's go. I talk to my stuff all the time, just to let you know. All right, so we're going to put one, let's see, on the leaf. And then I'm going to try not to stab myself with the people poker. This is the Take Your Pick tool. It is the most utilized tool. I'm going to put this one down in the corner, in the pink. Okay. And then this one is going to go right there. I want that a little bit more. There we go. So 1, a 2, and a 3. So when you open it up, this one is here. So I think that we could take the Wink Stella and do the chunky parts of the word friend, don't you think? I think that would be pretty. I didn't do that on my original card, but, you know, who says I have to design, copy myself like I just cased myself. All right, so let's do chunky parts. Okay. And try I'm concentrating. That's why I'm not talking, because I could certainly color outside the lines and the Wink Estella would bleed. I think that looks cute, don't you think? Look at that. It sparkles. Okay. So, this card actually can sit. So if you go back in and watch the beginning, you'll get the measurements. And so it almost sits, you know, kind of straight. But like you can see, it's equal distance. And then this card, let's see, maybe I go this way. And it might help a little bit more. But I tried to, you know, burnish. Let's see, where did we go? Right there. I tried to burnish really nice so that, there we go, it sits. And so this is what it looks like when it hangs out on somebody's desk. So I see that heart. Thank you. So who wants to win this? So number one, do a thumbs up or a heart. That will get you entered. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you very much, Judy. If you leave a comment, that gets your name entered into the drawing. And if you share this on your time frame, there might be a stamper out there that would be inspired to pick up their stuff and create a card and send it to somebody. Now, you would be helping me out, so you get 2 entries for doing that. So thank you very much for hanging out with me on a Thursday evening. I hope to see you back on Sunday after 5 o'clock. I try to give an advanced notice, and it takes a little while for me to pick because I want as many people to get a chance to watch. You know, so if you shared this on your timeline, I want whoever watched it on the timeline to get a chance to win it too. So thanks, guys. I appreciate all your thumbs up. I appreciate your orders. I appreciate you hanging out with me and talking with me. Take care. Have a great weekend.